In this chapter, we are basically going to look at why we should worry about co-benefits of climate mitigation strategies. So we'll look at a few sectors as examples: agriculture, energy, transportation, and buildings. Of course, there are many more sectors where climate mitigation strategies can be used to reduce emissions, and they will all have health co-benefits, of course. And you can find many such mitigation strategies under my course Drawdown on my YouTube channel. But here we'll just follow the book and include a few sectors. Okay, so why co-benefits are important for worrying about health under mitigation. An increased awareness of health co-benefits may increase public and political support for policies that reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Right? If you just keep saying 2100 temperature has to be below 2 degrees centigrade, hence we must mitigate, obviously there is a lot of skepticism, cynicism, resource limitations, and so on. But if you point out health co-benefits that may occur, especially those that occur immediately, will bring a lot of public support. This is why there is also an emphasis on short-lived climate pollutants like black carbon, methane, aerosols, and so on, which can immediately show benefits literally in weeks sometimes. Health co-benefits such as increased physical activity and weight loss are likely to accrue in the nearer term and be more direct and visible than the benefits of avoided climate-related health damage, which may occur over a much longer time horizon. These health co-benefits will also lower the net cost of implementing mitigation measures via a reduction of health care costs. Billions of dollars are spent each year on healthcare, and you will save a lot of money there as well. Climate change mitigation strategies with health co-benefits present excellent opportunities for addressing key public health issues such as obesity and chronic illness, motor vehicle injuries, and health inequities. Okay, co-benefits provide a framework for strengthening cross-sectoral public health partnerships. So agriculture and health, agriculture, water, energy and health, air quality, transportation and health, and so on. So many things are connected, what are often referred to as nexus between these different sectors. Okay, so the best way to start in this direction then is to look at this figure we have seen already before. This is the sectoral greenhouse gas emissions for 2016. The numbers change tiny bit if you look at the latest, but it doesn't matter. The relative contributions are still the same. So these are global greenhouse gas emissions at 49.4 gigatons CO2 equivalent in 2016. And again, remember that CO2 equivalent is when we convert other greenhouse gases than CO2 using their global warming potential into CO2 equivalents. Okay, so a whopping almost 75% of the greenhouse gas emissions come from the energy industry, 73.2% in 2016. A lot of it is energy used in the industry, so iron, steel, chemicals, petrochemicals, food and tobacco processing, paper and pulp, machinery, and other industries. And a significant chunk comes from transportation, which we will look at in a little bit more detail. So road transport, aviation, shipping, and rail, frigates, etc. The rest of it goes in energy use in buildings, commercial and residential. So this gives you a sense of where mitigation strategies can go. We will look at transportation and buildings, and then the other big monster is of course agriculture, forestry and land use. Among that you get emissions of course from livestock and manure fertilizer applications, agricultural soils, rice cultivation is always a big contributor, crop burning, deforestation for agricultural use and other land use, croplands, and there are waste and industrial contributions as well. There is also energy used in agriculture and fishing that is separately included here. and then there are others that we will not bother. So these are the sectors then that you can take. And remember, we looked at mitigating climate impact on agriculture, like crop yields via ozone impacts, negative ozone impacts on agriculture. But here we are talking about the other way, how to reduce agricultural emissions and look at co-benefits of that on health. Okay, slightly different. Here is a good example to start with. Power. So here are the various pollutants: sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, particulate matter, which is a big killer, carbon monoxide, volatile organic compounds, which many of which are precursor to low-level ozone, which is damaging to health and agriculture, and ammonia. Okay, here are the various industries we are looking at: power, other industries including fuel combustion process emissions, transport, buildings, fuel supply, and other non-energy sectors like agriculture, solvents, and landfills and waste, right? So there are the various connections and their strength seen as the thickness of these links coming from each sector, shown also in these colors here in the pie chart. So you can see that more than 99% of sulfur dioxide comes from energy, more than 99%, sorry, let me make sure that I say it right. Yes, okay. So nitrogen oxide, a lot of it comes from a non-energy sector like agriculture. Particulate matter, again, energy. Carbon monoxide, 92% energy. Volatile organic compounds, 66% energy, and ammonia, 3% energy. Almost all of it is coming from non-energy sectors. Okay, so this also tells us how mitigation strategies in each of these sectors can reduce these specific pollutants. This is, of course, the short-lived, and some nitrogen oxides some of them are short-lived, some of them live for a long time. Okay, so broadly speaking, let's again remind ourselves of the health and climate co-benefits. Examples of interventions here: producing more renewables, improving insulation at homes, encouraging use of lower emission vehicles, promoting active transport like bicycling, walking, running, etc., reducing solid fuels used for cooking like biomass burning, less food from animal sources, so reducing meat consumption always reduces emissions and environmental damage, encouraging locally produced fruit and vegetables. And there are the various links to urban heat, fossil fuel burning, reduced emissions, improved air quality, and other benefits of health like active transportation. And I won't go through all this. We have seen these already several ways. So health benefits then are better mental health, fewer deaths from extreme heat, less cardiovascular diseases, less respiratory diseases, lower rates of cancer, lower rates of obesity. Okay, so there are also reduced climate change and indirect benefits, fewer deaths and injuries from extreme weather events, less skin cancer from UV radiation, reduced spread of vector-borne diseases to new areas, and of course there are also waterborne diseases and so on. Okay, so it's always good to look at these co-benefits again and again, because we can hardly learn enough about the possible links from climate change to human health, and also impacts of climate action on health in terms of the co-benefits, because that awareness about co-benefits of climate action is what is desperately needed to keep the support, financing, various market mechanisms and so on to reduce our impact on climate change. Okay, we'll come back and look at transportation sector in the next podcast, and then we will look at energy, buildings, and so on. Okay.